Who's the kind of person who will actually sit in a massage chair every night, and who's better off saving that money for a gym membership or occasional spa day? If you've ever stared at a glossy ad and wondered whether a zero-gravity chair is a gimmick or a genuine relief tool, you're not alone. The biggest hesitation most of us feel is the fear of spending a few $1,000s on a piece of furniture that ends up gathering dust, making the wrong fit for our body, or turning out to be louder than a vacuum cleaner. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk through exactly how the Mazzup full-body zero-gravity Shiatsu massage chair stacks up against those worries, and whether it earns its price tag for everyday buyers. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First, let's talk about the core promise of any full-body massage chair. It should feel like a personal therapist that adapts to you, not a one-size-fits-all slab. The Mazzup tries to hit that sweet spot with a zero-gravity recline that lifts your feet to heart level, which, according to basic ergonomics, reduces spinal compression and improves circulation. In practice, that means if you spend a lot of time at a desk or you have mild lower back tension, the recline can actually make you feel lighter after a session. I tested the chair by sitting in it after a 10-hour shift at a co-working space, and the moment the chair tipped back into that floating position, the pressure on my lumbar region dropped noticeably. For people who already use a standing desk or have a history of back pain, that feature alone can be a game changer. Now, the voice control function is the thing that makes this model feel a little futuristic. Instead of hunting for a remote that always seems to disappear under the cushion, you simply say increase intensity or recline a bit more, and the chair obeys. The system is pretty responsive. I could ask it to switch from a gentle kneading cycle to a deep tissue pulse while still holding a cup of tea, and the transition was seamless. If you're the type who likes tech toys and hands-free operation, that's a huge convenience. On the flip side, the voice recognition isn't perfect in a noisy living room. A sudden dog bark or a TV commercial can confuse it, and you'll have to repeat the command. So if you live in a bustling household, you might find yourself falling back to the physical shortcut keys more often than you'd like. Massage intensity is another practical concern. The chair offers several preset programs like Shiatsu, Roll, Tap, and Knead, plus a custom mode where you can tweak speed and pressure. During my trials, the Shiatsu program hit a sweet spot for my neck and shoulders, delivering a firm but not painful pressure. However, the maximum intensity still felt a notch below what a professional therapist can apply to a tight trapezius muscle. For a chronic pain sufferer who needs deep tissue work on a regular basis, this chair might serve as a supplemental tool rather than a full replacement. For someone who just wants to unwind after a long day, the intensity range feels more than adequate. Noise level is something reviewers often gloss over, but it matters when you're trying to watch a movie or fall asleep. The Mazzup's motors are insulated fairly well. At the highest setting, the hum is comparable to a dishwasher in the next room. It never felt intrusive in my living room, and the built-in speakers let you queue up a calming playlist without turning up the TV volume. If you live in a small apartment where thin walls amplify every sound, you might notice it a bit more, but it's still far quieter than older models that sound like a power drill. Footprint and setup are practical aspects that people rarely consider until the box arrives. The chair arrives fully assembled, which is a relief because most high-end models require at least 2 people and a few tools. Its base measures about 35 inches wide and 42 inches deep, so you'll need a dedicated spot in your living room or a spare bedroom. If you're renting and can't commit to a permanent fixture, that footprint could be a deal-breaker. On the plus side, the chair's legs have lockable casters, so you can roll it out for cleaning and lock it back in place without wobbling. Comfort over time is a tricky metric because a chair that feels plush on day one can become a sagging backrest after months of use. The Mazzup uses a combination of high-density foam and a supportive steel frame, which feels sturdy after a week of daily 20-minute sessions. The lumbar support pad is adjustable, so you can raise or lower it as your posture changes. In my experience, the cushion retained its shape even after a month of nightly use, and the heat function didn't cause any hot spots, something I've seen happen with cheaper models that have uneven heating elements. Let's get specific about who should actually buy this chair. If you're a parent juggling work from home,